The legendary queen, the most famous women land influence and power. The most famous leaders surrendered to her charm, and the rulers, an icon in love and passionate love. But no one knows yet her bloody side that remained hidden for thousands of years. The shocking surprise has been recently discovered in the city of Ephesus, Cleopatra's mystery. Are you wondering what new things we will introduce in our episode? Today, related to Cleopatra. Well, it all comes down to the puzzle. Done. It was discovered in the city of Ephesus, which followed today to Turkey, so his dark sides point to crime. Horrifying thousands of years old, Cleopatra executed it on her sister Arsinoe the Younger. The beginning of the riddle that scientists have been puzzled for many years. 1920s was archaeologists examine a grave in the city Ephesus, and the tomb was found on human skeleton. Here, the shocking mystery lies in the habits in Roman Empire burying the dead outside city walls. Whose temple does this belong to? Great? What does the Queen of Egypt have to do with it? Cleopatra with this puzzle? After thorough research and in-depth study, the archaeologist's attention fell on a file belonging to the sister, Cleopatra the Younger Arsinoe. The question here is, are the remains the really for Arsinoe? If indeed she has, how did Arsinoe end up murdered and buried in a grave thousands of kilometers away from Egypt? Her hometown is terrifying. To find out the truth, we have to go back to our hometown. Cleopatra, Egypt. The legend goes back to 51 BC, when Cleopatra's father died, leaving the right Cleopatra and her son ascend to the throne half and half of the Virgin. Then Cleopatra was about 18 years old. Unless, believe it or not, she married her brother, who is younger than her, so that they can rule the country together according to customs. And the royal traditions are known at that time. Cleopatra wanted to ally with the Romans very much, but her brother refused that. Cut off, supported by his other sister Arsinoe, and the victory. It was for the brother Cleopatra is the one who won this war, the family that resulted in it. Denial. Cleopatra. This is not the end of the story. Arsinoe's surprise turn has yet to come. Let's see what happened. I considered Cleopatra that the most appropriate way to take revenge from her brother is getting close to Julius Caesar and seducing him, which is what actually happened as a result of its beauty and charm, which they are irresistible, as has been known throughout history. Cleopatra took advantage of her young age to sneak into July's room Caesar, who was in Egypt. Cleopatra spent the whole night in the room. July Caesar and her brother discovered. The matter was immediately announced that it had been done. His betrayal and the betrayal of the Pharaonic kingdom. The Egyptians launched an attack on the palace of July Caesar. The latter had no choice but to lighten the family. The owner held him hostage to save his life because bringing in military reinforcements would require a few days, which is a long time to the security situation that has arisen at that time. To keep the Egyptians away from the palace and to distract them, he did the Roman army set fire to the city. The locals rushed to put it out, which was to their advantage. The Roman commander who managed to escape from the palace and take shelter in the lighthouse of the island Virus, which is one of the wonders architecture and control. Look closely at the design of the island lighthouse, architectural Virus. Mr. Hashkammar will tell you about it later. You will not believe that its design will indicate to solve the hidden secret and identity character, buried in Ephesus. To continue, Arsinoe was able to escape from July Caesar and was installed queen over the revolutionaries who wanted to overthrow with the Roman commander. And he launched the Egyptians violently attacked the lighthouse. They were able to regain control of it, and Julius Caesar was just running away, swimming for his life. Since that incident became the beacon, a symbol of the victory of Arsinoe, who was just a teenager at the time. Julius Caesar did not accept this shameful defeat, especially since it's a young teenager's business. He called for military reinforcements and launched a violent attack. The palace and its wasted dignity. What? The result? Well, it was crowned. The Roman commander's attack was a resounding success, and it yielded three main results. The first killed the king of Egypt, Ptolemy, the 13th brother of Cleopatra. The second result is the capture of Cleopatra's sister, Arsinoe. The third result, the last one, was to return the throne to Cleopatra. Let's see what happened. Its effect after the capture of Arsinoe was she was taken in chains to Rome. So Julius Caesar celebrated his great victory. The celebration was not ordinary. It was festival-like and surprising. The Roman commander decided to offer Arsinoe as a prisoner, helpless in the face of everyone in Rome. And the strangest thing is that Caesar wanted to execute her publicly. And in the public square, let's see what happened. Arsinoe came out in front of everyone, lying encaged, chained. What it caused a great shock among the audience, and the reason is, her young age is obvious, and what is striking is that the factor was in her favor. He sympathized with her, the audience that pressured Julius Caesar to keep her alive, and that's what happened. Indeed, Arsinoe survived the plot. Bloody Julius Caesar, after the public pressure Roman towards not killing Arsinoe. Julius Caesar prevented her from returning to Egypt, absolutely forbidden, so he banished her thousands of miles away, from her hometown and from Rome as well. To Ephesus, known today in Turkey. Have you started to seek? End of thread. Nevio Arsinoe to Ephesus, and the riddle unknown remains. Let's continue details. Arsinoe was exiled to Temple of Artemis, where I stayed in a state of, it is similar to political asylum as it is known. On it at the moment. Before addressing the death of Arsinoe, it is necessary to highlight an event that explains why crime. After only 2 years from the families of Arsinoe, Julius was found. Caesar was stabbed to death. What happened? Arsinoe's life is in danger because he did not. There is an obstacle in front of you, Cleopatra, implementing her hellish plan to seize control of the throne. You wonder what I did? In fact, Cleopatra moved to achieve her goals. It didn't take long. And the beginning, it was by getting rid of her brother, the youngest and last, and killed him. Now she had no choice but to Arsinoe, and Arsinoe was killed. It is not an easy task at all, and it requires a well-thought-out plan. And a word. The secret was your magic again, Cleopatra and her unparalleled beauty. They resist, I will explain to you. After the death of Julius Caesar, took over Mark Antony ruled, and was stationed in Ephesus, where Arsinoe is serving her sentence. In denial, the lifestyle of the Roman leader knew, and its excessive extravagance. He has huge debts, and there is only one solution to get out of his crisis. Yes, the alliance with Cleopatra to exploit Egyptian resources. Ironically, Mark Antony's diabolical scheme met them. A bigger devilish scheme than Cleopatra found in the leader Romanian, last chance to get rid of from Arsinoe to eternity, after days and weeks of a passionate love story. Mark Antony committed the most heinous crime in the Roman Empire, which formed shock to the Romans as a whole. For the first time, a character is killed, in cold blood, in a fortified temple, and on holy ground. Yes, Mark Antony killed Arsinoe on the orders of his mistress and wife Cleopatra, who she wanted to monopolize the throne. The young man Arsinoe and her murder revealed much about the mystery of the skeleton that was. It was found in Ephesus. This has been confirmed by, the result is several factors, the most prominent of which are, with the design of the grave in the Street of Heroes. Well, the grave is in our present day, broken into several, but this? The matter did not prevent reaching an answer. For the puzzle, the effects have been, with the help of specialized engineers, to clear stone pieces for production 3D models of it. Thus, it is installed by default on computer to see what the grave looked like. And here was the shocking surprise. Do you remember? Lighthouse? Virus in Egypt, which it became a symbol of victory for the young Arsinoe. What you don't believe is that the grave matches in design with the lighthouse design in mind. No ambiguity. Imagine this. It is the first evidence that the buried character, she is of Egyptian origin and may be Arsinoe to a large extent. The second piece is their stone, one of the graves preserved in a museum in Vienna. Studies have shown that its design reflects the pharaonic culture par excellence. The third evidence is the skull. Missing. No, it is not. Find it, but scientists. They were able to do so through studies and computer programs. from the production of a replica skull of that missing. Surprisingly, it indicates also it belongs to a young woman. Egyptian origins. That leaves no doubt. The young man buried in the most important streets of Ephesus. She is Arsinoe, sister. Cleopatra. And now what occupies the mind? Scientists is the form of Arsinoe. Really, everyone knows your story. The alluring Cleopatra, known as her shape, however, is that of the young king. Arsinoe and her tragic story, they remained forgotten. Okay, scientists have developed a preliminary concept of the shape Arsinoe through the skull replica. What do you think? Was Arsinoe, does it really look like this? The skeleton discovered in Ephesus to Arsinoe? Nobody knows, but it does. A story that reflects a scary side from the life of Queen Cleopatra. Not done, it was previously mentioned and began to appear in public. This is the story of Cleopatra and its truth ugly.